Hey, I'm Randy, and I'm the Cheap Audio Man. Here at the Cheap Audio Man, we don't feel like audio equipment, turntables, amps, DACs, streamers, speakers, should cost more than an elk hunting trip to where you fly out somewhere, you go hiking around in the wilderness, and you kill an elk, and then you quarter it up right there and you pack it out, and then you take all that meat and you have it processed, and then you have food to feed your family, and you had a good time doing it. Okay, yeah, I'm sure a lot of you audiophiles out there know what I'm talking about. And this doesn't. What is it? It's the Bluesound Node 2i streamer. So grab a cup of coffee, sit down, and let's talk about the Bluesound Node 2i. Today's video is actually sponsored by it's a side project that I have to try to drum up some money for other YouTube creators out there. It's Randy's negative YouTube comment receptacles. Okay, so what you do is when a mindless automaton that's being super sanctimonious comes in and makes broad statements about other YouTubers being wrong, or that we wasted their time on a free video that they're watching, you print them off, and then you put them into the receptacle here that also contains human feces, okay? And then you take that and you can either burn it or throw it in the trash. So the Bluesound Node 2i. I've wanted to review this for a long time. I've wanted to use it for a long time. But the nice folks over at the U.S. distributor never returned my emails. So you know what? I got one from a viewer. Yeah, so what is it? It's a streamer. What's a streamer? It takes digital music via digital music streaming services like Tidal, Qobuz, Spotify, Amazon Music HD, but not Apple Music, I don't think. And then it plays them out of its RCA DAC, goes through the DAC, out of the RCA, into your stereo system, and you get to listen to the sweet, sweet sounds of streaming music, okay? But it's way more than that, okay? So, this unit retails for $549, okay? That sound like a lot? Yeah, can be. There's a lot of other streamers out there. Stuff that uses Play-Fi, stuff that uses HEOS, okay? You can do Raspberry Pi streamers. We did one on the Orchard Audio. Pecan Pi. Okay, so there's a lot of options. Arylic, they make a lot of very good low-cost streamers. But they're all a bit different. And it's not about the hardware per se. It's all about the software. All right? So let's take a look at the back of this thing and see all the connections. What's in the back? What's in the back? What movie is that from? It's not, it's what's in the something else, but what's in the back? What's in the back? What's in the back? All right. On the back, there's a variety of connections. Yeah. So on the back, you have regular RCA outs, okay, single-ended. You have a subwoofer out. All right. You have a digital coax out and a digital optical out. Then you also have an analog in using a 3.5 millimeter connection. That connection also doubles as an optical in using basically a mini optical, which is 3.5 millimeters, but it's not the regular optical cable. All right. Then you have a trigger in, trigger out. You have a USB connection to connect a storage device that contains music. You can put other stuff on it, but it's not going to work. I mean, you could put like your, I don't know, essay from college about, I don't know, the locomotion of the Priscilla scabi when it's given light. Basically, it's a cockroach. And then you have Ethernet in. Okay. All right. On the top, you have some controllers: a volume up, volume down, track forward, track back, play, pause. Okay. Other cool thing, you can buy additional remote, but apparently you can't do it in the US because I clicked on it and it says not available in your territory. All right. Anyway, the point is that somehow, somewhere, there is remote functionality that you can use on a regular old infrared remote. Okay. So let's talk about the app and how it works and stuff like that. All right, so let's talk about the app and how you connect your streaming service, because ultimately that's what this is all about, is making sure that you're streaming your favorite music. So to add your streaming service of choice, you want to come down here to Music Services. Click on Music Services, and you're going to come up with a list of just about every music service known to man. All right, so I've already got Amazon Music hooked up, and I've already got Tidal hooked up. But if you want to add, let's say, Qobuz, just click on Qobuz. It comes up, and you just enter your credentials. After you do that, you go back, and it's going to be there. Okay? So connecting a subwoofer and setting tone controls is also done right from the app. Click Home. There's the one that I have connected. So you hit the 3 bars over here. Audio settings comes up. Hit audio settings. And now you can either enable or disable tone controls. If you want to go in here, put up treble, up and down. You basically have you don't basically, you have a 12 dB swing. So +6 or -6. Okay. Do the same thing with bass. Now here's where it gets very interesting. Okay. So when you are using the internal DAC, you can turn on your subwoofer. Not only can you turn on your subwoofer, you have a selectable crossover. So here's the cool thing about this. Anybody that's integrated a sub knows that it's not always easy, if you're climbing behind the sub, to change the crossover. So what you would do is you would basically either use the low frequency or LFE in on your sub and disable its crossover, or you would just turn it all the way up, and then all the way to like 160 or 200, whatever it is, and then you would control your crossover here at your seating position, so that you can just dial it in. And no, now obviously you can't control the gain on the sub or the level on the sub, but being able to control your crossover right here from where you're sitting is pretty cool. All right, you click OK, so now we have 80 hertz. All right, replay gain, what that is, for lack of a better way to describe it, smart gain is just going to make sure that if tracks are recorded at different levels, they're all going to kind of play at the same level. All right. MQA external DAC. You can select that if you have a, let's say, a better DAC that you like that has MQA capabilities. Then you can select that. This DAC, internal DAC, does have MQA capabilities, which is pretty incredible. Okay. Output level fixed, that basically means you're going to put it at fixed line level input or output, 2.2 volt, 2.1 volts, whatever it is. Okay. Volume limits, that's, if you don't want the kids getting into it and destroying your speakers because you have it hooked up to a 5,000 watt amp, you can do that. Auto clock trim, that has to do with jitter and stuff like that. Okay. So that is the tone controls. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, so let's talk about another awesome feature of this thing, and that is called Tidal Connect. So if I go out here, I go into my Tidal. All right, pull up the track. You can see down here, it says Cheap Audio Man BS. All right, if you click on that, now it says Tidal Connect. So if you've ever used Spotify or anything else, you can select a device that you're basically using the native app now to control that device instead of the actual Bluesound app, which is, well, we'll just go here, which would be boom, and you click it, and then, so instead of having to use the internal Bluesound app for, like, here's Amazon Music. Okay, so this looks pretty plain Jane, right? So you have to go into My Music and Playlists. And like if I wanted to play my test tracks, boom, here it is. You click on test tracks. All right. But if you want to use Tidal through their Tidal app instead of the Bluesound app, you can do that. Final thoughts. All right. Final thoughts on the Bluesound Node 2i. I have had experience with Hios. I have had experience with Playfi. I have had experience with Aurillix platform, which looks an awful lot like Playfi, and Hios. They're both pretty much identical. I think they're built on the same platform. And I've had experience with Raspberry Pi running Volumio. So those are all different platforms. This was the first time I ever got to experience the Bluesound platform. And again, all software platforms, not necessarily talking about the hardware here. So, without a doubt, the Bluesound software is far and away the best user interface, the easiest to set up, the easiest to switch tracks. Latency is very low. Also plays gapless. So what is gapless? I've talked about it before. Let's say you're listening to a live album and one track bleeds right into the next, right? So gapless playback basically means there's not going to be a stop in between those tracks. It's going to go right into the next track. Most streamers don't do that. The only other streamer that I know of that plays gaplessly is Volumio, utilizing either your network attached storage music, like you have some music on a NAS or something like that, or through Tidal. Okay, so Volumio will play Tidal and it will play your NAS gaplessly. This plays everything gaplessly, including Amazon Music HD streaming. You can also play gaplessly utilizing Bluetooth or AirPlay or stuff like that. Okay, so you got AirPlay. 2, you have Bluetooth aptX HD. You have a headphone jack, okay, 3.5 millimeter. You have an MQA DAC. The DAC is also a Burr Brown DAC. They don't really talk about that very much on the website, okay? How's the DAC sound? Pretty good. Not as good as some others, all right? Here's the deal. This device is about the software. It's not necessarily about the hardware. However, with that said, you can use this as a full-on preamp for digital and some analog inputs, all right? And it has a high-pass filter that you can set on your sub. So you don't have to worry about like crawling behind the sub. You can go sit down, play your music, turn your sub low-pass filter all the way to the top, or use the LFE input, and then you control the crossover where you're sitting from your app so that you can dial it in and you don't have to crawl behind it and do stuff like that. All right? Pretty convenient. All right? This is the only streamer that I've had experience with that is ready for what I would consider prime time. Like, I normally don't even recommend streamers unless they sound really awesome, like the Orchard Audio Pecan Pi. I normally don't even recommend streamers because they're so clunky. I would rather use decent Bluetooth, right? Like LDAC Bluetooth, like the iFi Zen Blue or something. Also, the app integration is also not very good on Playfi, on Hios, on Volumio, on a lot of these other streamers, okay? Best app integration, best user interface, tons of functionality. You can use it as a preamp, okay? Now here's the deal. There was a very respected online review of this product, and I don't know if they even talked about the user interface and how easy it is to use the app. They talked about how the DAC measured. Okay? This is not a DAC. This is a streamer. This is a platform. This is a musical delivery service that happens to have a DAC. It's not a DAC that happens to stream. Okay? But guess what? You have optical outs. You have a coax out. Which means if you don't like the DAC, you connect it to a different DAC that you do like. All right? You have MQA. MQA on this. Most of the time you can't even find an MQA DAC for less than this price, or they're about the same price unless you're looking at the iFi Zen, and then that only has one USB input, and then you can stream, but you're on your computer. Okay. This is not about the DAC, and the DAC's fine. It sounds good. It's got a Burr Brown. I like Burr Brown or whatever. You can't judge this on the specifications. Fine. It doesn't measure great compared to other DACs. Hook another DAC into it. But it sounds fine to begin with. You get this, you hook it up. It's easy to set up. It's easy to start enjoying your music. And if you want better sound quality, then go buy the Orchard Audio Pecan Pie DAC and plug it into that. Because now you're talking. Now you got some sweet, sweet, yummy music with the best user interface you can have on any streaming product. Okay? This is brilliant. Now, Bluesound's like integrated into a whole bunch of NAD amps. They're killing it. No one's even close to the user interface on this. Not even remotely close. Or on the functionality. When I change tracks, it's like a second, half a second sometimes. When I change tracks on Playfi or Hios, 5 seconds sometimes, 7 seconds to change tracks. Those other platforms don't play gaplessly. This does. This is the de facto recommendation for a streamer if you're looking for convenience. If you're looking for pure sound quality, then I would look at something like the Orchard Audio Pecan Pie. All right? But you don't have to just get one. You can get this one, get up and start it, get running and started, and then connect it to your favorite DAC. All right? What I'm probably going to do is buy the Orchard Audio Pecan Pie DAC and then hook this into that. And then I'm set. All right? I couldn't recommend this product highly enough. Couldn't. This is the only streamer that is not horrible from a user interface standpoint. From a sound standpoint, could it be better? Sure. Yeah, sure it can. It's not the greatest DAC in the world. Okay? It's $550. So for $550, you're getting the best streamer user interface, the best software platform, MQA decoding, AirPlay, Bluetooth, a headphone amp, a preamp, a sub amp or sub out with a variable high pass filter that you can select. Yeah, they had to save some money on the DAC. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, it's so horrible that they had to save money. No. Anybody that doesn't get this product because they think it sounds bad is short-sighted. Or they just love to not stream music effortlessly. Okay? So, couldn't recommend it highly enough. It's fine. It sounds great. But the user interface is where it really just shines. Okay? Whew. If you want to support the channel, consider subscribing. I have a link to my Patreon in the description. Patreon.com/cheapaudio. And every Sunday we do Zoom, patron-only Zooms. All right? We get together. We have a lot of fun. And sometimes we talk about audio. All right? And most of the time we talk about audio. Also, any of my affiliate links or any links in the description are usually affiliate links. Not all the time, but if you click on that link and you buy something, I do get a commission off of that sale. Also, you can sign up for Amazon Music HD for free. I have my test track playlist in there as well as Satanic Panic. I'll probably put some other playlists in there. And guess what plays Amazon Music HD gaplessly? The Bluesound Node 2i. All right? Yeah. So, consider subscribing if you like the channel. We have a whole bunch of videos. We have a good time over here. We don't take ourselves too seriously. Yeah, not too seriously. So don't binge watch Netflix or Hulu or anything else. Binge listen using the Bluesound Node 2i and fill your soul with happiness. And with that, I'm Randy. I'm the Cheap Audio Man.